Hello everyone, Ceri the Crafter here, that's C-E-R-I the Crafter, and today I'm here with a bit of a, let's say a personal experiment. I'm going to be using my 5x7 gel plate because I just am. I've got a 4-inch speedball brayer, I've got some magazine pages, and over there I've got all of my acrylic paints. I've also got my art dump journal, one of the signatures from it, which I'm just going to put extra paint into if I have an excess of paint. I just want to play with an idea. Okay, in April I did a swap and make with Mariah from PM Artist Studio. I'll put the link to the videos below just in case you haven't seen it and you're interested to see it. And in my preparation for doing that video, I made a prototype of what I was going to use. Now I ended up doing it in a different way than this, but I actually had used mixed media paper for this because I needed to know how rigid it would be if I used it in the real thing. So I've ended up with this concertina, which I've done nothing with. It's just been sat by my desk. I'm like, you know what? I need to do something with this. Let's just play. So what I'm going to do, as I said, I don't know whether this is going to work. So this is total experimentation with me. I'm going to create backgrounds on every one of the pages except the front and the back, because if this looks okay at the end, I will actually just put covers on them and make it another little booklet. Let's see if I can reach the original. So here you go. This is what I made with my swap and make with Mariah at PM Artist Studio. It was a concertina book that I then made ephemera for and stuff. But as you can see, that was my original idea, and then I went larger because I knew I needed a certain amount of space for ephemera. So I have this. So I think what I'm going to do is, because lately I've been playing with sort of abstract ideas, and I'm thinking of just making something this size that's just pretty to look at. It doesn't have to have a purpose. It doesn't have to have a theme. It just has to be of interest to look at, which is what to me abstract art is. So, as I said, I'm going to work on every single side of this except the front two, because these will have covers on. Oh, sorry, I just knocked the table. And I'm not going to make the covers. If I like what this turns out to be, I have an entire box of postcards that I've already worked on. I'll just cut up one of the postcards and I'll make a front and back cover out of that, because this can only be a 1 hour video approximately, and I don't want to spend more time on it than that. So I think I'm just going to come in and put some colour down. I'm going to try and work possibly from light to dark. So I'm going to come in, I've got pale lemon. Now please forgive me if I don't mention every single colour. I'm probably going to forget that I need to, I should probably do it on this way. I'm also using a small plate and a small amount of paint if it'll come out. I'm only using a small plate. I mean, I could really have used my 3-inch rectangular plate or 3-inch square, but I think that would have just been a little difficult. So I'm just going to come in. Now, where possible, I only want to get paint on the pages I'm working on. So I think what I'm going to do is, if I work on one side and then flip it and work on the other side. Now, it could be that I'm going to have to stop occasionally to dry it, but I'm building up layers. So I'm just going to leave that there to stand while I put the next layer in. I'm probably going to do this in warm colours, for no other reason than I actually like warm colours. And I'm not going to clean my plate in between. I'm not going to fully brayer stuff out. I am literally going to come in and pick up what I want. If it does go on to the next page, it doesn't bother me. This here was a piece of washi that I put on here to hold it in place. See, I'm going over. Well, in that case, we're going to have to start going over, aren't we? I basically put the washi on because I needed to stick 2 pieces together. That was getting there. Periodically, I'll lift this up so you can see it, guys. Right, let's come in with this orange by Shuttle Art. I think this is a metallic sort of look. So I'm going to keep going until I've covered all of the white surfaces of the relevant pages. And then once I've done that, I'm then going to come in with some mark making. I might then focus on possibly doing mark making with markers or something if I dry it first. Actually, I need to, sorry, I'm going to come in, I'm going to put an X on here and an X on there, just so I know which are going to be my covers, because I'm not going to waste time painting things that aren't going to get seen in the eventual thing. That's wasting your time and mine. Right. I'm going to put a little bit on that one as well. Just picking up what I can where I can. Right, let's try and go a step darker now. Let's pull in some raspberry. You can see why I'm kind of staying with the warm family at this point, because it means all the backgrounds. I'm running out of this, aren't I? I think I need to pick up some more Arteza paint at some point. It could be any paint. I just happen to like some of the colours in Arteza. So, but at this stage, I think if I stick with the warm paints, then I'm going to be a little happier, because they're all going to sort of go together. This is quite tricky. I thought this would have been an easy make. It's obviously not going to be. Should just press that down. It lifts some off onto there. There you go, it doesn't bother me. Right. Now, it could be periodically I am going to need to dry this, because if it gets too wet, I could tear it by lifting it up and putting it down. Right, let's just, right, where's that dump journal? Right, so I've got this for cleaning up my brayer if I feel I want to. So, right, I will put a link to the dump journal, or my dump art journal as I call it. Oh, sorry, I just hit you. My dump art journal, I'll put a link to it in the description box below. Right, this looks like it could do with a bit of life on it. There you go, it's getting interesting. It's funny, I always thought when I was younger, when I walked around an art gallery or visited my museum or something like that, I would always think, why is abstract art on the walls? What is it about it? Why is it there? And you know, over the years, I've grown to appreciate the complexity that you can get doing abstract art. We may not fully understand what the image is about. The artist does, but as it is an abstract piece, the fact that it makes you question, to me, is interesting. I mean, I will very often look at abstract art and stand there for ages and ages trying to work out what the heck is going on here. And unless I actually ever was lucky enough to meet the artist, I'm never going to find out, am I? Usually, there may be a piece of literature or a sign or something that says about the art. However, I've not always found that they're incredibly useful, because what it does is it sort of tries to condense what the artist was thinking into 2 or 3 paragraphs. And I'm like, I need a little bit more than that, people. I want to understand. It's inquiring minds and all of that lot. Right. I think I'm almost where, I think this one needs a little something that's not on this plate. Or is it on the plate? Oh, it is on the plate. Right, okay. I'm just trying to clean up the plate a little bit with what we've got. That was a mistake. I shouldn't have done that. Right, I was contemplating putting pink into this, which is not my most favourite colour. Actually, I just remembered I've got this pink, which I don't know that I've used it. Maybe a bit of that might help that area there. Let's put it that way. That's almost like a flower, isn't it? Right, let's just dab this down a bit so I've got some of the pink randomly throughout. Well, I think at this point, for a start, I need to get this in again and clean this up a bit. And I think we're just going to stop the video for 2 seconds. For you, it'll be a few minutes for me. And I need to dry this off, because if I don't dry it off, I know that it's going to start suffering from all the handling I'm doing. Also, if the acrylic paint is dry on here, it means whatever I put on top of it is not going to move around and mix with the colour below it. So bear with me, guys, back in 2 seconds. So, right, it's dry enough to work on. So as you can see, each of the pages is slightly different. And where I normally, because I've just caught myself doing it, whereas I normally try to cover up all the white, you know what, I'm going to leave patches of white. Maybe there's a reason there should be patches of white. Now, this is predominantly oranges and yellow. So now I'm going to look at contrast or complementary colours to add over the top in some fashion. So I think I'm going to reach for purple, because purple and yellow and purple and orangey yellow are a complement in my mind. Well, not in my mind, they are. So I'm now going to bring in, right, thinking of scale, I think this was the top. It was off a Tim Holtz tissue roll. There you go, I knew it was something like that. So I'm just going to bray this out. And I'm going to come in and I'm going to add parts of circles to some of these. Not all of them. And hopefully not in the same configuration. Although I don't want to go circle, no circle, so I'm going to leap ahead. Right, let's flip that over. And I would like to add sort of similar feel on the other side. I'm trying to now stay within the individual panel. Let's go about there. Right, that's you done with. Right, let's just stand that up to dry a second. I've got this on here. I can see I'm going to be creating quite a few pages in this today, aren't I? If you're not familiar with my art dump journal, as I think I've already said, I will put the link in the description box as to how I made it. If you then follow that playlist through to see more videos, you'll see the pieces I've already created. I'm trying once a month to work in this journal because it's helping me release my controlling OCD, my perfectionism, all of that. It's trying to, I'm using it to free myself up as an artist, basically. Right, I think those are okay. They'll dry as I'm working. I now need to think. I'm starting to mark make. And I'd quite like to continue to mark make. I don't want to go dark. That's kind of my worry. So I think I need to wipe this off because I'm thinking I would like to go to white. And if I go to white, I'll put some reasonably bold marks on here to deal with the white. Let's clean that off as well. So I am a bit of a neat freak, but I'm not that much of a neat freak. I'm just trying not to contaminate my piece of art as I'm working on it. So what we're going to use, I've got this old ice cube tray. I bought it a few years ago for £1 in my local pound shop, or it might be a dollar store to you. It's got silicone bottom on it, and what it does, it gives interesting sort of puckered marks. So, right. Yeah, I think we're going to go with white. I just had a thought maybe I didn't want to go with white, but actually I do want to go with white. It's really hard when I'm working with something this small, because to me, I keep pulling out too much paint. Just pick it up, pop it down. See, it'll just give some interesting, Now, if it goes across, I don't mind. But what I'm trying to do is to make sure the join is maintained. I think that's okay. Oh, come on, you. This is tricky when it's all connected together. Don't mind those. This definitely needs lightening up. Maybe one row down the edge. And I wouldn't mind a bit up there. Okay, I'm all right with that. It's a process. It's very much one of those scenarios where it is trust the process, because if you don't trust the process, you're probably going to stop too early. And that's something I do very often, or I used to do very often. I can't say I do it much anymore. Is I used to give up thinking, oh, it's rubbish. I'm never going to get that done. It's never going to look good. And actually, some of my best pieces have come about with me just pushing through and just going, you know, I'm just going to keep going. Well, I think that's going to hit saturation stage. So let's just get this pulled off here. So, I've done sort of an abstract play before. I made some postcards, didn't I? I might link that one below. Oh, that's interesting. I've got an image transfer. Let's just stick that on something. There you go, bit of an image transfer there. That was unintentional. So that's actually an idea. I might be able to do some image transfers on here, depending on what I've got on the paper I've got with me. Right, you can go to one side. So yes, as I was saying, I did do a. What am I trying to say? I did do an experiment doing, I think I might have done a 12 by 12, actually, think about it. And I just literally just went for it. I just did whatever was in my head to do, I did. So it worked. I was very happy with the results. Right, we're getting there. Right, now I would like to come in with a green, but I have to make sure it doesn't look like Christmas. So I think I'm going to go for a sort of a lime green, this lime green to be specific, because I want it to be bright and vibrant. How am I going to apply it? Right, got a bit of corrugated packaging here, just a bit of corrugated cardboard. I've used it umpteen times before, as you can see. I think I need to be a bit more specific about where I put this now. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to select areas and mask them off. Let's get that out of the way. And mask them off with magazine page so that I can isolate the ones I'm working on. Hopefully this isn't too boring, guys. This is just, as I said, this is me playing. I had an idea and I wanted to follow it through. So I'm just going to put my corrugated card in here. And actually I'm going to go on a diagonal because I don't normally do a diagonal. Right, that's on there. I think possibly this one could do with a little bit of it as well. And I think this one will go up and down. Okay, liking that. Let's flip this over. That one definitely needs it. It's funny because I'm already liking that one. A little bit more paint. As you just heard me say, I do favour up and down. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to try and create a grid by turning the card at a 90-degree angle. There you go. I've got my grid. So that's isolated that. Right, need to clean up this paint because I've got nothing to use it on. Now, normally if I was working on my own without you watching, I would obviously be using the paint on many other things as I go along, but I am trying to keep the waste down to a minimum because none of us want to waste paint. Right, so I've got some interest on those. I do think I want something else. Now I have an idea. I'm wondering, right, that image transfer thing just sparked an idea in my mind. So if I take strips that have got text on them, I should be able to image transfer the text onto sections of this. What colour am I going to use though? I don't want to go to black. Well, I've got this rich brown. Now the secret of the way I view image transfer is a little bit of paint is all you need. It doesn't take much to image transfer. I think my brayer was wet. My brayer was wet. That's not going to image transfer, I can tell you that for nothing. It's just going to become a sticky, soggy mess. Right. Let's dry that up a bit. Right, let's try that again, should we, people? Just pull those aside because you've seen what they are. A little bit of paint. Brayer it out. Lay a bit of the text over the top and give it a little bit of a finger rub. Now this could work or it could not work. Okay, let's just be a little bold in this and know that it may or may not work. Cleaning off the sides because if this does work, I don't want to imprint across. Okay, it has given me something. So let's just come in and I would like it if that was straight, but there you go. Which there's one on the back I might be able to use as well. Okay, it's in there. I can see it. It's not very prominent. And it's probably because I would normally have done it in black. I want to go into black just yet. Let's do a little bit of black. Actually, let's use Payne's Grey. Payne's Grey is a sort of a bluish grey, in my opinion anyway. Right, again, brayer it out. Let's quickly get a piece of something on there. I'm wiping away the excess because I don't want it to be dirty. A little bit, but that's actually okay. I don't mind. I don't mind the darker piece on it either. If anything, it's giving me interesting dark swatches. Very gently. Okay, I'm getting bits of it, and actually because of the size of this, that's actually not a bad thing. Just clean that off there. Make sure this is just dry, because we've seen what happens when it's not. Right, so I've got one on that side. I've a little bit on, actually this could do with something. I'm just going to do one more of these. This has got a whole load of everything in it, this one. Let's go to that side. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up the excess around it. Now I'm not going to collage anything onto these. I'm literally just going to do this all with paint or markers or stamps if I should use them. Well, that's a lot better. Let's see if I can get that onto there without messing it up. Right, hold that for a second. Okay, that gave me interest. So that was an unexpected bonus doing those. Let's just clean that off. So I think we're at the point where I need to now decide, do I want to stamp anything onto here? And I think I might do, actually. And I think what I need to do first, though, is I might need to dry this, because as you see by this one, it's beginning to get a little bit soggy. Let me just see if there's anything else I want to put on there first. You know, we haven't put bubble wrap on. I can't be a piece by me without bubble wrap. Okay, I've got this bubble wrap. I'm going to put bubble wrap on here. What colour? There's lots of orange, there's lots of yellow, there's lots of red. I'm not sure blue is the colour I want to add to that. That doesn't feel right. Actually, what's this? Burnt sienna. Exactly what colour are you, burnt sienna? It's almost a terracotta colour. I can deal with that. Now again, I think I'm going to mask off certain areas so that I don't get the paint everywhere. Like this one needs some interest on it. So you'll pop that across there. Just give this a bit of a brayer out. And then after I've done this, it's definitely going to need a hairdryer to dry it off a bit. Okay, liking that. This down there could do with some of this. Let's just turn that around. Bit of a reload. Okay, liking that. Is there anywhere else on this side that needs it? This is looking rather flat, isn't it? It's like it needs a something. Don't always know what that something is, but it's getting some of this at the moment. Okay, that could be making that work. Let's flip this over and see if some of these do need it. In fact, I'm darn sure some of them need it. Actually, that one there could do with it. Are you in shot? You are now. Touch down the side. This one also needs it. That's interesting. Right, don't overdo it, Griffiths. Let's just put those down there and clean off this breath. Right, I'm going to pause for 2 seconds for you, a few minutes for me. I need to clear the decks because I think I want to come in and do some stamping next, just because it feels right to do it. So back in 2, guys. And we're back. So just blown over the hairdryer. So this is where we're at the moment. Now, the thing I need to remember now is I've got text, so there's now an orientation. And then what I want to do now, is that the right way up? It is. Oh, that was luck. That's the right way up. I had a bit of a moment of, oh, too early to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the stamping off for a few seconds because I'm going to come in with some Posca markers. Now, I've been kind of on a doodle journey for a while now, and I'm really enjoying using Poscas. So I'm going to come in and I'm just going to make marks. So I don't know whether it's the right thing to do, but it feels like the right thing to do. And then I will probably stamp over the, well, not probably, I will stamp over the top of it. It's actually really freeing when you know that the thing you're using actually was just a piece of waste to start with. Right, I guess before I turn that over, I'm going to have to quick blast that. Okay, I'm not going to turn the video off, but I am going to turn the sound down now. And we're back. Just wanted to make sure that I didn't cause any problems, basically. Right, this side. What colour shall I do over here? What colour is this? Raspberry. Let's do some raspberry. Sorry guys, I'm really bad at being able to talk and doodle at the same time. Normally I'm excellent at talking and doing, but for some reason I really struggle to doodle and talk. Right, I think I want to use one more set on here. What have I got that's really going to kick off? I've done that colour. Actually, we'll use this. It's sort of a rose red. I must admit, when I've been trying to learn to doodle, a resource I've found very, very useful is actually looking at Zentangling. I didn't Zentangle. It didn't really work for me. However, I did find that the exercises that they did really did work for me. I think I just want to put some white dots into things. Oh, is it running? Oh, it's running out. That's what it is. Like flowing out. Right, this one can just have a line in it. This one can have a zigzag in it. Right, let's do some stamping and then see where we go. Right, I need to do the sound thing again for a second. And I'm back. Okay, if that was taking too long, you may find I will have edited out some of that. So, right. So I'm happy with where I am in that. Now I wanted to come in and do some stamping. So let's pull in some stamps. What stamps have I got here? Right, these are some of mine, and I really like the number stamp. Let's pull the number stamp in. Do I want letters? It's probably the right scale. I will put, actually, I want this one instead. I will put links to, basically, I'll just put one link to PM Artist Studio for all of my products, because finding all of the different things is going to be a bit of a nightmare. Right. I like that one. I want to put some of these in. These are my border builders. I believe this is called Flower Meadow. Maybe some diamonds. I don't mind diamonds. Are these mine? No, these are... Actually, that's Darcy's, I think. Is that Darcy's? It might be Darcy Sanders. Oh, I quite like this one as well. Actually, no, because then it becomes about something. Actually, same reason not to use that one, because all of a sudden it becomes a floral thing. Let's use that one. That's by Eddie Riaz from Eddie Makes Art. Sorry, we're getting closer and closer to the camera, aren't we? Right. I wouldn't mind a bit of that. That's from PM Artist Studio themselves. Do I want to use some of that? No, I don't want to use that. I think the rest will be okay for it. I'll just put these back. Now, I think at this point, I'm going to start using black. Now, just so you know my process, so you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm going to put a thin layer of black acrylic paint on here. Over to one side, I'm going to lay this on the surface, so once I've finished stamping, I can actually literally just lay the stamp face down on a damp surface so that it doesn't dry out, because it's harder to, well, if it dries out, I'm never going to get the acrylic paint off it. So let's just do that. So, right, where should we start? Let's start with numbers. I love the numbers. And this can be extended, by the way. I created it in such a way that if you stamp it next to each other, say you stamped it there, turn it, stamp it, turn it, stamp it, then you'll have a whole piece. Or you can stamp it vertically, turn it around vertically, and you'll get loads and loads of numbers. I love using that stamp. It's absolutely one of my favorites. Probably attested to by the amount of times I've used it. Right, I just need to see where the up and down was. Right, so I need to be a little cautious because things need to be up and down. Right, can you see that? You can see that. Not a lot of black, because I don't need a lot of black. And I'd rather refresh the black than put a lot out to start with. So I'm just going to come in. Let's use the top of this. Can you see me? You can't see me, right? I'm just going to come in and I'm pressing it. I'm just giving it even pressure, no more. Loving that. Love that stamp. Right. A little bit more of that over here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do what I said to do. I'm going to turn the stamp around. Stamp it, so you probably can't see that, can you? Stamp it next to itself, and that gives me that effect. Right, just stamp that off a little bit, put it onto that damp cloth. Right. I like this, but I don't want to encroach on the other one. So I'm going to pick up this spiral foam stamp from PM Artist Studio, load it up. I would if there was wet paint there. Load it up and come in there. And I've done that to balance that circle. Loving that. Do I want that anywhere else? Not at the moment. Stamp it off. Right. I think I want to use this. This is Eddie Makes Art. This is, I'll put links to the other ones that are not mine on here. I'm going to put that around there. So it kind of curves. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow the curve around as if it was a larger stamp. There you go. So it's given me a half circle. Stamp that one off. Right. Now I need to wipe that. Sorry, cloth. I need to borrow you a second. Just trying to keep things so they don't contaminate the other side, which is my aim. Not to contaminate the other side. Let's put those back on the damp cloth. So, right, I've got that much. Is that dry enough? I think it's dry enough. I'm going to flip this way to try and maintain the orientation. I think I need a little bit more black on there because it seems to be fading, as in it's drying out. Right, the letters. Again, the letters can be butted up against each other, used in any direction. Now, when I designed this one, I made sure that it was definitely multi-directional. And we're just cutting across that corner. Oh, actually, I've got enough on there for the whole strip. Right. Try not to encroach on its neighbour. That's fine with me. Right. This one here. I love this. This is, I think it's called Silly Spheres. I absolutely love it. It's one of my favourites. Well, they're all my favourites. I designed them. What am I saying? I mean, right, and then I think I just want to come in with the individual one. Actually, I need to put a bit of this there, don't I? Or I'm going to end up contaminating the other side. Just put a little bit of a Harlequin type nod into this one. I think they need something. I just don't know what it is yet. Okay, everything's washed up and cleaned up. So we're almost there, guys, I feel, with this. This is where I'm at the moment. And although I wanted abstract, and some of them are very abstract, like I actually quite like that, I do think some of them need a focal point. And I think I'm going to go, like, I don't think that needs anything. To me, that's absolutely beautiful. That, however, needs something. So I think I'm going to go back on my word to myself, no one else. And I'm going to come in with other foam stamps that maybe are botanical or fauna or something. So I've got a butterfly, a dragonfly, a heart, a leaf, and this is Darcy Sanders' single daisy, or gerber. I would call it a gerber or a daisy, and that's the cluster. So I'm just going to come in. I need to make sure I've got papers that I can mask stuff off with. So let's just tear these in half so that I've got papers. I don't want to contaminate anything. Now, the choice of colour is going to be the hard thing for me to do. So I'm going to first of all use plum purple, because some of these look like they could do with plum. Right, where is the up again? Right, I need to actually change this to be an arrow up. Just so, I'm struggling because I don't want to do it the wrong way around. If I do this one with an arrow up as well, because remember, these will have a cover on them eventually. Right, let's go back to this side. So I feel this one needs something. I think possibly I'll put a single flower into that one. Or shall I put an, oh, is that autumnal? No, I think it could do with a flower. I'm not 100% certain about that one. But we're going for it anyway. Right, this is plum purple. It's basically a mix of my own, so it's not a true to colour for some other company. It is literally a colour I've put together from other plum purples. And I think I'm going to come in, put some paint on here. Don't want too much on there, however. I'm just going to come in at the top and a little bit peeking in from the side down there. Now, you have to be really careful because there's quite a bit of paint on there. So let's put those out the way. Now, I don't think I want to repeat the stamp anywhere else. So I'm just going to put that onto the foam. Now, this one needed something, but not much. Actually, it might do. I could do with a heart up there. Hopefully that's straight. I'm reaching a long way to do that. It's not straight. Right, is that going to bother me? Yes, it is. I can tell you now it is. So you know what? We're going to turn a heart into a flower. So I'm going to come around, do one in the opposite direction, off to the side, off to the side. Okay, it now looks like a ruin, like an ancient ruin, like the symbols. I can't speak today, can I? Right. Quite like that one for a leaf, but I don't want it to be in purple. I don't want the daisies, because I've got the cluster of daisies. I don't want the daisies on the same side. Maybe this one could do with a butterfly. I don't know how's my paint drying. Right, give me a second, guys. Just going to blast this. Okay, back to sound. I just wanted to do that because I didn't want to turn it over and then smudge something. Right, this one here needs something. So let's just mask that one off. And another bit of paper. And I think that one is the one I might do the cluster of Darcy's daisies. Or gerbers, or whatever you think of it as. Now I quite like the dots down the side, so I'm just going to come in, press it down gently. You don't need to pummel one of these stamps, you just need to make sure you pressed all over. Perfect, that's exactly what I wanted. That's tickled that up. Now I think what I want to do now is I want to change slightly and change this colour, not completely though. I want to change its intensity with some white. And I want to do that so that not everything on here is the same. Let's see if I can. I'm hoping that's going to make just a paler plum colour than the other one. Yes, it did. Right, my intent now is to put a dragonfly in here, because anyone who knows me knows I like my dragonflies. I love this foam stamp. It's very hard to just do one dragonfly, but actually I like that because it's subtle. I can see it, I know it's there. Right, anything else on this side? Possibly not. I want to put the butterfly and I want to put the leaf in. Actually, the butterfly there would look really nice, wouldn't it? I forgot to mask that. Hopefully it didn't go over too much. Well, only a touch. I'm okay with that. Right. And we're back. Right, now I wanted the leaf here, and it's this leaf. Oh, good grief, I'm so bad with names. I think it's Rhonda Donar that designed this. I'm almost certain it is. See, that's beautiful. I really would like something there as well. I've got something that I just pull in really, really quickly. Actually, there's another Darcy flower. I don't know what that one's called. I'm not even going to pretend that I know what that one's called. It comes in 2 sizes, by the way. That much I do know. Please forgive me, Darcy. I'm a man of a certain age, and that certain age is the age of forgetfulness. Right. So, it's definitely time for me to pause and get things washed up again. And then I think we'll take one final look. So here I'm back again. Right. I didn't turn the camera back on, but I did go in and put the odd little bit of white bubble wrap in there. You knew how to do it because I've already shown it, and I thought it's a waste of time just watching you do it again. So I've added it to some of the pages. And I think all I want to do now is just come in with some of the Poscas and just do a little bit of random something on these pages just to finish off the ones I think need finishing, which I don't think is many, to be honest with you. Right, let's go page by page. I have a really thin black one in here somewhere. Excuse me, this one. I need a bit of paper just to make sure it's working. It is working. Right. I'm just going to outline the petals on this stamp, just to make them stand out a little bit. And I'm doing it in a messy fashion. There is no way I'm trying to be perfect. Okay, I'm all right, that's done. This one needs something, don't know what it is. This one, I'm just going to do my messy writing, which is basically fictitious writing. And anyone who says, is that my natural handwriting? It's not a long way off. This one needs something. I don't want to do it with black. That's almost finished. This I think I want to do in white. This one I quite like that as it is. This one definitely needs something. I think that will do. Let's flip this over. I'm really liking that one. That one's appealing to me. This one, I think I'll come back with something thicker for that. This one, again, could do with a line of script, or my version of it anyway. I'm not upset by that. I quite like to outline these. Which I might do the inside as well. That's okay. That one's a little chaotic, but I'll live with it. Let's go back to the other side and see. This one I wanted something. I think I want to pull the yellow in. Is this yellow going to be strong enough? Possibly. Let's just see if I can circle those. Circle the bubble wrap. And there isn't one there, but I'm going to put one there. That's kind of, that's not my favorite, I must admit. Let's just do the little ones down here. I can just see them. Okay, that might add enough to that. I quite like that as it is. There's something, I need something in there, I just don't know what it is. This is okay. That one I like. This one I now like this. Let's flip these over. This needed something. I knew there was something I was looking at. But I wanted to come in, how bright, how thin is this red? I don't like the thickness of that. I think this is chocolate. I keep going dark when I feel I should go light, but let's just come in. Again, I'm just going to circle the bubble wrap in a very loose fashion. And I think, where's the black gone? It's just the big black. Right, it's something I've seen lots of people do before on other stuff. They put crosses into things, and I'm not one who normally does that. This is already looking muddy. I don't want to add it to that. Quite like that. That breaks up all of this. This could do with some drama. That we said was okay. I think we're done, guys. I still don't like this. We look like eyeballs now. Great job, Griffiths. They look like frog spawn. I just need to flip this again. Sorry, hopefully you're not getting sick of me flipping this back and forth. You know what I'm going to do? There's that thin black again. Is that thin black? It'll be thin enough. I think I'm going to sign it on this one. I think that finishes that off. Now, I did have a thought if this thin is... Well, that was a bad idea to draw over there, wasn't it, Griffiths? I was going to loop around that, but I don't think this white enough is strong enough. Right, we do need to find a cover. Now, as I said, I've got a whole box. Out of the way, stay there. I've got a whole box of postcards, or partially finished postcards. I'm sure there's something in here that's going to work for me. That's on cardstock. Now, I'm going to need two, because I'm going to need one for the front, one for the back. Leave that, no, not these. I'm trying to stay either complementary or within the colour family. I don't want to decorate it more. That's too close. Actually, purple. Those two are a possibility. I need a pair. That's what I'm looking for. I always loved that. I think I had more of those somewhere. Let's leave it out for a second. Oh, did I just have one of those? I think I want to do these two. Let's put those by and those by. Have a quick dash through those. See, those would work, but it's almost identical to what's in there. There's numbers on there and there's numbers in there. Actually, those, because it's got that on it. Right, change your mind again. Right, let's have a quick grab of a ruler just so I can see what size these need to be, and then they need to be trimmed down. So if this is just over 4, if I make this 4.5, should I make it 4.25? 4.25. Actually, if I make that, I think 4.25 is probably, if I make that 4.25 and I make that 3, 4.25 by 3, right. Out with the guns. Now I need to keep this bit, so if I go 3 by 4.25. Bollards, I did it the wrong way. I should have cut it that way first. These are not going to fit now, are they? No, I'm not cutting the whole thing down. Right, I thought I saw another one of those numbered things in there. This is what happens when you don't measure twice. Which I do have more of the numbered ones in here. Actually, I could could use that one. I don't mind that there's numbers not on both. Well, these, if I can, will get cut down to ATCs. Right, so let's do this again. I've completely forgotten what it is now. So 3 by 4 1/4. Right, I need to do the long one first. So that's 4 1/4. By 3. I cut that right. I have. So we'll go 4 1/4. By 3. Right, get rid of the guillotine. Right, all those scraps can go into my scrap drawer. Right, let's get these stuck on. Now I'm going to use art glitter glue because it's a really quick grab. Which one do I want on the front? I think you're probably all going to tell me this one. Actually, yes, because that can be next to that. Right, I'm not backing these. They're just going to have the brown on them. As we all know, this was just an experiment. It wasn't a project that was meant to be a tutorial, so it's only for me. Someone stop blocking up on me. That's better. See what happens when you behave yourself. Right. Try and centralize this up before it sets off on me. And come in with the other one. So basically what I've done is I've just taken something that would potentially have gone in the trash. Well, eventually probably would have gone in the trash. And I've utilised it to make myself a little something. And as I said, the purpose is what it needs to be. It's just a little something that I can have and pull out and go, I like that. That's just a little ray of sunshine in a booklet for me. Let's just come up to you. I just realised I'm way away from you, aren't I? I think those are just little tiny pieces of art. I mean, they could potentially be artist trading card size. I still feel that needs something. I like the dragonfly, but it just didn't come out enough for me. Is there anything I can do about that? I wonder. Right, I have in my stash this. This is the same dragonfly stamp. However, it's stamped onto gift wrap tissue paper. So it's just going to meld into the background when I use it. So I'm just going to tear one of these out. As I said, it's gift wrap tissue paper. I'll tear one that I don't ruin then. It's gift wrap. It's not wet strength tissue paper. And all I did was, as I stamped this, I did exactly the same process with black acrylic paint onto the tissue. And I occasionally will do that. If there's a stamp I really like, I will actually stamp a whole sheet of it onto gift wrap tissue, because it means I can use it for my art journal. I can use it as something for other pieces of ephemera. So let's just take these pieces off here. I could come around with a water brush and make this a lot neater, but I don't think I'm going to. Right, and I don't need the whole thing anyway. Get off my finger. That's what glue does for you. So he can go on there, and I'll just trim off the edge. I'm going to need a softish brush. Let's get some medium. What have I got? Gel medium, right. Let's get a bit of paper to put under there so I don't contaminate the other page. And any medium would do for this, guys. Any gel medium. Well, you could probably even do it with a glue stick, to be honest with you. I'm probably being overly cautious because I know there's layers and layers of paint here. putting on a reasonable amount, then pick up my dragonfly. And I'm gently going to brush from the center outwards to try and get rid of any air bubbles. I'm being very careful because gift wrap tissue paper can be used on the gel plate. It can be used in collage, but the trouble is that if you brush it too much, it tears. So I'm hoping to goodness I don't tear this at the moment, because I've got a feeling I'm pushing my limits here. Right, I think that's fine. Let's leave that. So I will, once that's dry, I will trim the edge of that off. So thank you for coming along on this journey with me. As I said, it was just a complete experiment. Not sure even that it was going to be worth filming, but I have learned from the past that unless you turn the camera on, you're never going to know. So, I'm Ceri the Crafter. That's Ceri the Crafter. Until next time, goodbye now.